Okay, so you've got a street kid, a magic lamp, a princess, and a palace. We all know the story of Aladdin. But what happens when a modern master of fantasy, the one and only Philip Pullman, decides to take a crack at this timeless tale? Well, today we're diving into his unique and brilliant reimagining of a classic.
So you probably think you know the story of Aladdin, right? I mean, we've all seen the movies. But what if I told you there's more to it? That a master storyteller can take something so familiar and make it feel brand new all over again.
And that's exactly what Philip Pullman does. He doesn't just, rehash the old story. He breathes new life into it. He finds a modern heartbeat for this ancient adventure. And trust me, it's pretty incredible.
All right, first things first, let's get into the adventure itself. Let's talk about the plot, the characters, and what makes this world tick.
Now, the cast of characters, it feels like meeting old friends, but with a twist. You've got Aladdin, our hero, who starts off, let's be honest, kind of lazy, but still pretty charming. You've got the incredible, all-powerful genie, the stunning Princess Badra al-Badur, and of course, the truly wicked sorcerer Moor. And you can't forget Aladdin's poor, hardworking mom who accidentally kicks this whole magical mess into gear.
And the journey? Man, it's an absolute roller coaster. First, Aladdin gets tricked by this sorcerer and trapped in a cave, but he gets out thanks to a smaller, less powerful genie from a ring. He gets home, his mom starts cleaning this dusty old lamp, and boom! The real power is unleashed. Suddenly, Aladdin's got it all. He's rich, he builds this insane palace, he marries the princess. But just when you think is happily ever after, the sorcerer comes back for revenge and snatches the lamp, the palace, everything right out from under them. It's the perfect setup for a showdown.
But here's the thing. This adventure is about so much more than just getting rich. The real magic is what happens to Aladdin himself. He starts out as this lazy kid, a total disappointment to his family. But through all this chaos, he's forced to use his wits and find his courage. He transforms into a real hero, someone who can actually outsmart a powerful sorcerer and eventually become the Sultan.
Okay, so beyond the exciting chase scenes and magical wishes, this story is just packed with deeper magic. Pullman's version is amazing because it really brings these big, powerful themes right to the front.
So first and foremost, you've got the theme of transformation. And look, the real magic here isn't what's in the lamp, it's what happens inside Aladdin. Yeah, his bank account changes, but the real change, the one that matters, is in his character. He's completely reshaped by everything he goes through.
And of course, at its core, this is a classic tale of good versus evil. It's so clear-cut. You have Aladdin, who is fighting for a better life and for love, and he's up against the sorcerer who is just pure destructive greed. It's that timeless conflict that really drives the whole story forward.
Now this one is super interesting. Social mobility. Aladdin's story is the ultimate rags to riches fairy tale, right? It's all about this idea that with a bit of magic and a whole lot of cleverness, anyone can change their lot in life. You can go from the streets to the throne. It's pretty powerful stuff.
So who is this guy breathing all this new life into a story we thought we knew? Let's take a second to meet the master storyteller himself, Philip Pullman.
Pullman is, well, he's a literary giant. You probably know him from his massively famous and award-winning series, His Dark Materials. But what's so cool about him are his roots. He used to be a teacher, he grew up reading Batman comics, and get this, he writes his epic fantasy worlds from a shed in his garden. That just tells you everything, doesn't it? He is a pure, lifelong lover of a good story.
And this quote from Pullman, it just hits you right in the chest. Stories are the most important thing in the world. He really believes that they're essential to who we are as people. And that philosophy is exactly why his version of Aladdin feels so important. He gives the story the respect it deserves.
So this brings us to the big question, right? What is it exactly that makes Pullman's version so special? What's his secret sauce?
Well, Pullman's magic touch really comes down to a few key things. First, his language is just so clean and modern, it makes the whole adventure pop. The book also has these gorgeous illustrations that really light up your imagination. And he pulls off this incredible trick of keeping all the original magic while making it feel totally fresh. Plus, the way he writes is just perfect for reading out loud and sharing.
Oh, and here's a really cool little fact that might surprise you. Pullman sets the story in China. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it's actually true to some of the oldest, original versions of the tale from the Arabian Nights. It's such a brilliant little nod to the story's real roots.
You know, when you stop and think about it, Aladdin's story isn't alone. These themes pop up everywhere. Think about Cinderella, right? Her whole social status gets magically transformed. Or Jack and the Beanstalk, another young guy who gets a magical item that completely changes his life.
These stories all tap into that same deep fantasy of changing your own destiny.
And at the end of the day, Philip Pullman's work is this incredible reminder that a great story never, ever gets old. Its real power is that it can be reimagined, it can speak to new people in new times, without losing 1 ounce of the magic that made it a classic in the first place.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. What is it about certain stories, like Aladdin, that lets them just grab our imagination and hold on, century after century? What is it that really makes a classic story timeless?